Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready to take a deep dive with us into something we're all thinking about pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
Healthy living,
Healthy living.
but not just the same old stuff you hear everywhere. We're talking about
Yeah.
things you can actually try like right now, today, to start feeling better.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like an experiment almost,
Kicks
Just
that fight.
try it and see if it works for you.
Exactly, like a personalized well-being experiment.
I like that.
So to kick things off, everyone's always talking about this holistic approach to feeling good. But what does that actually look like day to day?
Well, I think it really comes down to understanding that everything's connected. What you eat can impact how you sleep
Hmm.
and how moving your body can impact your mood
Right.
and how your social life can even impact your stress level.
Yeah, it's not about
Pretty cool.
being perfect in every area.
Yeah.
It's about understanding all these little tweaks we can make
Exactly.
can have these ripple effects on everything else.
Yeah, it's not about being perfect. It's about finding what works for you and making those small changes that can have a big impact.
Exactly. So what are some of those small but mighty habits we can start experimenting with today?
Well, I think one that's really simple but often overlooked is just moving more.
Yeah.
And I don't mean training for a marathon or anything like that.
Right.
Even just short bursts of activity throughout the day can make a big difference both physically and mentally.
I love that.
So think taking the stairs instead of the elevator.
Yeah.
Or parking further away from the store.
Cool.
Maybe doing a few squats while you're waiting for your coffee to brew.
Yeah, sneaking it in.
Exactly. Just little things to get your body moving.
I'm all about those sneaky fitness hacks.
Yes.
Make it a natural part of your day, not just like this big separate chore on your to-do list.
And speaking of sneaking things in, let's talk about hydration.
All right.
You'd be surprised how often we mistake thirst for hunger or even fatigue.
Yes, I've definitely been there.
So a simple experiment to try is carrying a water bottle with you everywhere and just sipping on it throughout the day.
Okay.
See how that impacts your energy levels, focus, even your mood.
All right, water bottle added to the shopping list right now.
There you go.
It's so simple, but it makes a huge difference.
It really does.
But let's shift gears a bit and talk about fitness.
Okay.
I think a lot of people, especially if they're just starting out,
Yeah.
they get intimidated. They think it has to be this really intense all or nothing thing.
I completely agree. And the fitness industry can definitely be intimidating. But what's interesting is that research is actually showing that shorter high-intensity workouts can be just as effective as longer moderate-intensity workouts.
Wait, are you telling me I can get a great workout in less time?
Potentially, yes. It's called high-intensity interval training, or HIIT for short.
Okay, HIIT.
It involves short bursts of intense exercise followed by brief recovery periods, and you can adapt it to pretty much any activity: running, cycling, bodyweight exercises, swimming.
So instead of dragging myself to the gym for an hour, I could do like a 15-minute HIIT workout and get the same results.
It's possible, but remember, everyone's different. The
Right.
key is to find what works best for your body and what you enjoy.
I love that approach, treating it like an experiment.
Yes, experimentation is key.
What other fitness experiments can we try?
Have you ever heard of greasing the groove?
Greasing the groove, that's a new one.
It's a really simple but effective way to build strength and improve your technique for any exercise.
Okay.
The idea is you practice the movement frequently throughout the day, but you never go to fatigue. So like if you're working on push-ups,
What?
instead of doing like 10 push-ups all at once, you might do a couple every hour or so.
Got it.
Just enough to challenge yourself, but not tire yourself out.
So I'm basically becoming a push-up ninja all day long.
Exactly. You're greasing that groove, making it smoother and stronger over time.
I love it. Okay, what about strength training? I'll be honest, the weight room can be a little intimidating.
Oh, I totally get it. It can be. But one of the best ways to start is actually with bodyweight exercises.
Right.
Things like squats, lunges, push-ups, planks. Those are all fantastic for building strength, and you can do them anywhere with no equipment.
That's perfect, because sometimes I just don't have time to make it to the gym.
Exactly. And they can be really challenging too.
Awesome. But let's be real. Sometimes we just need a little extra push to get moving.
Yeah.
What are your tips for staying consistent with exercise?
Well, one thing that works for a lot of people is finding an activity they genuinely enjoy.
Okay.
If you hate going to the gym, don't force yourself.
Right.
Explore different options. Maybe it's dancing, hiking, swimming, rock climbing. There's so much out there.
Exactly. It shouldn't feel like a chore.
It should be fun.
But what about those days when you just like wake up and you have zero motivation?
We all have those days, trust me.
Yeah.
Here's a little experiment. Commit to I'm just going to do 5 minutes of stretching or a quick walk around the block And often once you get started, you'll find you actually have more energy and motivation than you thought.
That's such a good tip because 5 minutes feels so doable.
Exactly. And even if you stop after 5 minutes, you've still done something positive for your body.
Exactly. All right. I think we've covered the physical side of things pretty well, but let's talk about something that's just as important, our mental well-being.
Yes, mental well-being is crucial. And just like with physical fitness, there are so many interesting things we can try to enhance our mental well-being.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
One that's becoming increasingly popular is mindfulness.
Mindfulness. I've heard that word a million times, but honestly, I'm not sure I totally get it.
Yeah, it can be a bit of a buzzword, but at its core, mindfulness is really just about paying attention to the present moment without judgment.
Mm.
It's about becoming aware of our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without getting carried away by them.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do we actually practice mindfulness?
One of the easiest ways is through focused breathing exercises.
Okay.
So find a comfortable position, close your eyes if you like, and just bring your attention to your breath. Notice the sensation of your breath as you inhale and exhale, and if your mind wanders, just gently bring it back to your breath.
So we're not trying to empty our minds or anything?
No, not at all. It's more about acknowledging those thoughts and then gently redirecting your attention back to your breath.
Okay, but what's so special about focusing on our breath?
Well, your breath is always with you. It's like this constant anchor to the present moment. And by focusing on it, we can train our minds to become more aware and less reactive to our thoughts and emotions.
So instead of getting swept away by stress or worry, I can use my breath to ground myself.
Exactly. It's like having this little tool you can use anytime, anywhere to bring yourself back to the present moment.
Okay, a portable stress reliever. I like it. What other mindfulness experiments can we try?
Another great one is a body scan meditation. It's basically bringing your attention to different parts of your body one by one and noticing any sensations you feel without judgment. So you might start with your toes, then move to your feet, your legs, your torso, all the way up to your head.
I can picture that it's like taking a mental inventory of our body.
Exactly. And by tuning into our physical sensations, we can become more aware of any tension, discomfort, or even pain that we might be holding on to.
That makes sense.
And often just by noticing those sensations, we can start to release them.
Wow. So simple, but so powerful.
It really is. Okay, ready for another mental well-being experiment?
Definitely hit me with it.
This one is all about prioritizing sleep.
Oh, sleep is my favorite.
Sleep is so important. It impacts everything, our mood, our energy levels, our focus, our ability to handle stress, even our immune system.
It's amazing how much better I feel when I get enough sleep.
Right. But for those of us who struggle with sleep, what are some experiments we can try to improve our sleep quality?
Yeah, I'm all ears.
Well, one simple but really effective strategy is to create a consistent sleep schedule. Try to go to bed and wake up around the same time every day, even on weekends. This helps to regulate your body's natural sleep-wake cycle.
So consistency is key.
Absolutely. What about your pre-sleep routine?
My pre-sleep routine, I don't know if I have one. I usually just scroll through my phone until I pass out.
That's a common habit, but it might be sabotaging your sleep. The blue light emitted from electronic devices can actually interfere with our sleep hormones.
Oh, really?
So try to avoid screens for at least an hour before bed.
No more late night scrolling challenge accepted.
There you go. And instead, try to create a relaxing bedtime routine.
Okay.
Maybe take a warm bath, read a book, listen to calming music, or do some gentle stretching.
Okay, that sounds way more relaxing than staring at my phone.
What about your sleep environment?
It's okay, I guess, but I could definitely make it more sleep-friendly.
Make sure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool, and invest in a comfortable mattress, pillows, and sheets that promote restful sleep.
I'm starting to think I need a sleep sanctuary makeover.
You might be surprised how much of a difference it can make. And remember, sleep is not a luxury. It's essential for optimal health and well-being.
Okay, I'm convinced sleep is my new superpower.
There you go. I love it.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground today, but I have a feeling there's much more to come.
You bet. We've only just scratched the surface.
Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll delve even deeper into the world of healthy living.
We'll be exploring the fascinating realm of nutrition and how specific foods can fuel our bodies and minds.
I can't wait to continue this well-being experiment with you all.
Welcome back to our deep dive, ready to explore a topic that's often shrouded in confusion.
Oh, yeah, nutrition.
Nutrition, exactly.
Everyone's got an opinion, but it's hard to know what to actually believe.
It really is a minefield of information out there, but instead of getting bogged down in restrictive diets and calorie counting,
Yeah.
I think it's more helpful to approach nutrition with an experimental mindset.
Okay, an experimental mindset when it comes to food. I like it.
Yeah, basically focusing on how different foods make us feel.
Right. Tuning into our bodies.
Exactly. Instead of obsessing over numbers, let's pay attention to our energy levels, our mood, even our digestion.
So it's less about rules and more about self-awareness.
Exactly. It's about finding what works best for you.
Love it. So what are some experiments we can try in this realm of nutritional experimentation?
Well, have you ever experimented with intermittent fasting?
I've heard of it, but I'll be honest, the word fasting kind of scares me.
I get it. It sounds a bit intense, but it's not about depriving yourself.
Okay.
It's more about being mindful of when you eat.
Hmm.
So there are different approaches, but a popular one is the 168 method,
168.
where you fast for 16 hours, usually overnight and into the morning, and then you have an 8-hour window where you eat your meals.
Interesting. So it's more like time-restricted feeding.
Exactly. And there's some interesting research suggesting it can have benefits for blood sugar regulation, cellular repair, and even brain function.
Okay. I'm intrigued. I might have to try that.
Give it a shot. See how it impacts your energy levels throughout the day.
I will. All right. What other nutritional experiments can we play with?
Well, let's talk about something that's been getting a lot of attention lately, gut health.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
The gut. I've heard it's like our second brain.
That's a great way to put it. It turns out the trillions of bacteria living in our gut have a huge impact on our overall health, even our mood and cognitive function.
Wait, really? So our gut bacteria can affect our brains.
It's fascinating, right? It's all connected through this pathway called the gut-brain axis.
So a happy gut equals a happy brain.
You got it. And the cool thing is we can actually influence the composition of our gut microbiome through the foods we eat.
Okay, so we have the power to cultivate a thriving gut ecosystem.
Exactly. And one of the best ways to do that is by incorporating fermented foods into our diet.
Fermented foods like what?
Things like yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi kefir, all those tangy, delicious goodies.
Well, I love all of those.
They're packed with beneficial bacteria that can help support a healthy gut.
Okay, so I'm already on the right track.
You are. And another key player is fiber. It acts as food for the good bacteria in our gut.
So it's like fertilizer for our gut garden.
Exactly, you got it.
All right, where can we get more of this gut-friendly fiber?
You'll find it in abundance in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds.
Got it. So a plant-rich diet is a gut-happy diet.
Pretty much. And another thing to keep in mind is diversity.
Diversity of food.
Yes, the more variety of plant-based foods you eat, the more diverse your gut microbiome will be, which is generally a good thing.
Okay, so I need to branch out from my usual grocery list.
Branch out, experiment, try new things.
Challenge accepted. But speaking of trying new things, let's talk about craving.
Cravings, we all have them.
Yeah, those moments when you just need something sweet or salty or both.
Exactly. But instead of viewing cravings as the enemy, I think it's more helpful to approach them with a sense of mindfulness.
Mindful cravings.
Okay.
I'm listening.
So instead of mindlessly devouring a bag of chips or a pint of ice cream,
Guilty is charged.
try savoring a small portion of something you genuinely enjoy. Pay attention to the flavors, the textures, the aromas. Really allow yourself to experience the pleasure of it without judgment.
So it's about shifting from guilt to gratitude.
Exactly, and you might find that a small, mindful indulgence is actually more satisfying than a large, mindless one.
That makes sense. It's about quality over quantity.
Exactly, and sometimes it helps to try and figure out what's driving the craving.
Okay, like, are you actually hungry or just stressed or bored?
Exactly. Sometimes we eat for emotional reasons, not physical ones.
True, true. So if you're not actually hungry, what are some healthier ways to deal with those cravings?
Well, instead of turning to food experiment with other coping mechanisms,
Yeah.
maybe it's going for a walk, calling a friend, listening to music, taking a few minutes to meditate, anything that helps you shift your focus and de-stress.
Expanding that self-care toolkit.
Exactly. And don't forget about hydration. Sometimes we mistake thirst for hunger or cravings. So before you reach for a snack, try drinking a glass of water.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely guilty of that. I need to stay on top of my water game.
Water is key. But if you are truly hungry and those cravings just won't quit, there are plenty of healthy and delicious alternatives.
Like what?
Well, if you're craving something sweet, try a piece of fruit with a sprinkle of cinnamon, or a smoothie made with frozen berries and almond milk.
Oh.
And for those salty cravings, roasted chickpeas or a handful of nuts can hit the spot.
Those sound amazing. I'm going to try those.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in the nutrition realm, but before we wrap up this part, I'm curious, what are some of your personal favorite nutritional experiments?
Ooh, good question. Well, one thing I've been loving lately is incorporating more plant-based meals into my week.
Oh, I love that.
I'm not vegan or vegetarian, but I've been trying out meatless Mondays and experimenting with new plant-based recipes.
That's awesome.
It's been surprisingly easy and delicious, and I've noticed a difference in my energy levels and digestion.
That's great to hear. It's all about finding what works for you and expanding your culinary horizons.
Exactly. And another experiment I've been enjoying is mindful eating.
Oh, mindful eating. That's a powerful one.
It really is. It's about slowing down, savoring each bite, and really paying attention to the experience of eating.
It can make such a difference in how satisfied we feel.
Absolutely. It's about shifting from mindless consumption to mindful nourishment.
I love that mindful nourishment. That's a great way to put it.
Welcome back to our deep dive, everyone. We've covered a lot of ground talking about movement, mindfulness, and nutrition, but I have a feeling we're about to uncover the secret ingredient that brings it all together.
I think you're right. We've been focusing on these individual aspects of well-being, but what can really supercharge all those efforts is a sense of purpose.
Purpose. That sounds a little bit deep for a healthy living conversation. How does that fit into all of this?
Well, think about it when you have a clear sense of why you're doing something, whether it's working out, eating healthy, or even just getting out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
It gives those actions more meaning.
Okay. I see what you mean. It's not just about checking things off a list.
Right. It becomes about contributing to something bigger than yourself.
So it's like having this guiding star that keeps you moving forward.
Exactly. And that can make all the difference in the world.
But how do we actually find that sense of purpose? It feels kind of elusive.
It's definitely a journey, and it looks different for everyone, but it often starts with reflecting on your values.
My values.
Yeah, what truly matters to you? What are you passionate about? What kind of impact do you want to make on the world?
Those are some big questions.
They are, but they're worth exploring. Sometimes it helps to look back at your life and think about what moments have brought you the most joy or fulfillment. What activities make you lose track of time? What are you naturally drawn to?
So it's like using our past experiences to guide our future.
Exactly.
But what if we're still feeling lost or unsure?
Don't worry, it's a process, and it takes time. Keep experimenting. Try new things, even if they seem a little scary or outside your comfort zone.
Okay, so embrace the unknown.
Exactly. You never know what might spark a new passion or reveal a hidden talent.
I love that. But let's get practical for a minute. How do we actually translate this sense of purpose into tangible actions that support our well-being?
Well, it starts with aligning your daily choices with your values and passions.
Okay, give me an example.
Sure, let's say you really value connection and community.
Okay.
Maybe you make an effort to spend quality time with loved ones, volunteer in your neighborhood, or join a group that shares your interests.
So it's about finding ways to weave those values into your everyday life.
Exactly. And when it comes to setting goals, instead of just focusing on outcomes like losing weight or eating healthier,
Right.
try framing them in a way that connects to your purpose.
I like that.
So maybe your goal is to train for a charity run that supports a cause you care about.
Right.
Or maybe it's to learn to cook healthy meals for your family because you value their well-being.
I can see how that would make those goals much more motivating.
It's not just about achieving something, it's about contributing to something bigger than yourself.
And that can make all the difference when things get tough.
Exactly. When you encounter setbacks or challenges, that sense of purpose can fuel your resilience. It reminds you why you're putting in the effort and helps you stay committed.
It's like having an inner compass that keeps you on track.
I love that analogy.
But what about those of us who are still searching for our purpose? Can we still benefit from this approach?
Absolutely. The journey itself is incredibly valuable. Just the act of exploring, experimenting, and reflecting on your values is a form of self-care. And you might even discover a newfound appreciation for things you already do simply by looking at them through a new lens.
So it's not about having all the answers. It's about being open to the process.
Exactly.
As we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from all of this?
I think the most important message is that healthy living is not just about physical fitness, nutrition, or even mental well-being. It's about living a life that feels meaningful and aligned with your deepest values and passions.
That's beautiful. It's about finding that sweet spot where our actions, choices, and purpose all come together.
Exactly. And remember, this is an ongoing journey, not a destination. Embrace the experimentation mindset, stay curious, and trust that you'll find your way to a life that feels vibrant, purposeful, and authentically you.
That's a perfect note to end on. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into healthy living. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling inspired and ready to put all these amazing insights into practice.
Me too. It's been such a pleasure exploring all of this with you.
And to all our listeners out there, keep experimenting, keep learning, and keep living your best life.